Before you begin your drawing, let's think about the resources that you have. You have resources that are tools, and you also have resources that are technologies. So let's talk about the tools first. In your supply bag, you had a couple different things. You had a regular pencil here, and this one is not sharpened, so I'm going to go ahead and sharpen it. I have a handy little sharpener here. You can use any kind of sharpener you want, but I like to put a scrap piece of paper down before I sharpen. And if you have one of these sharpeners and it happens to have two holes in it, you might notice there's a smaller one and a bigger one. The different holes will give you a different size point. The smaller one gives it a pointier point, and the bigger one gives a sort of a flatter point. But you can also put larger drawing tools in there. So I'm going to go ahead and sharpen your pencil. This is a number 2 pencil. Okay. And you can see on here, it says HB, all right? And pencils come in different hardness. So HB is a middle hardness. It's kind of in the middle of the scale. There's other pencils in the B range, which are softer, and H range, which are harder. And this is a number 2 pencil, which is right in the middle. So you've got this nice pencil as one of your resources, and we can see what kind of line this pencil makes. And I'm just going to make a box shape here with it. Okay. You also have 2 mechanical pencils, and you'll notice on there that they are different sizes. There's 0.7 and 0.5. So if we take a look at the 0.5, let's make a little box with the 0.5 and the 0.7, and you'll notice that they're a little bit different in thickness. 0.7 is a little fatter. Okay, you also have a permanent marker. Your permanent marker is a nice tool. Something to remember though, that permanent markers do bleed through the paper. So it's always a good idea when you're working with a permanent marker to take those extra sheets of paper that I gave you and put one underneath your paper while you're working with the marker so it doesn't soak to the next page. So I'm going to go ahead and use this and make a little rectangle or square. I'm going to move this so you can see a little bit better. All right, so your permanent marker has a nice black line to it. Okay. You have a regular eraser also that can erase for you. Obviously, will not erase the permanent marker. It will erase the other pencils. Okay. All right, then the fun part. You have this blending tool and a little piece of sandpaper. The blending tool allows you to shade and blend with your pencil. Obviously, again, it does not work on the permanent marker, but you can blend and shade with your pencil. So if we take the blending tool, you can see how it spreads the pencil graphite around the page. And it makes it a little dirty. I'm going to turn to the other side here for this one. Depending on the kind of pencil you use, you'll get a different kind of blending happening here. Let's do this one. Okay, and you can see the HB pencil here is a little darker, and the 0.7, which is a fatter graphite, is a little darker, and then this 0.5 is a little lighter because it's just a thinner line. Okay, now when you use these, sometimes they get a little dirty. So let's go ahead and use this. I'm going to put some pencil here, and I'm going to use my blending tool to blend it together. And you can see that the blending tool gets dirty, and you can use that to add shadow if you want. You can use the very side of it. You can also use your eraser to blend. Now, when you erase and there's little crumbs like that, if you rub it across the page, it's going to smear. So a good thing to do is you can just blow it off, or very gently, maybe with another piece of paper, spare piece of paper that you have, you can do something like that to make it go away. Okay, so you've used your blending tool and maybe it's getting a little dirty and you want to clean it up. That's what the sandpaper's for. So you take it on the sandpaper and gently rub it back and forth, and you can see that it cleans it up. And I like to sort of turn it and rub it at the same time, which then makes a nice little point on there. If there's a little fuzzy part on the end, you can kind of sand that off, clean that end up. Pull that off even, okay? And that cleans it up pretty nicely. So that's what that blending tool is for. You don't ever want to put the blending tool into the pencil sharpener because it's just kind of chews it up. It's the sandpaper that works the best. You can use this sandpaper over and over and over again, so hold on to it to use to clean up your blending stick. All right, so you have these tools, these resources, right, for your drawing. Well, there's another kind of resource that you can use, and that is the computer. So that's the next thing we're going to look at. So take a look at what tools you have for your resources, and then let's look at what technologies we have.